Hello and welcome back to Lorcana Villain. My name is Baker, and today we're going to be showing some gameplay from my recent press event for the Ursa's Return Set Championship. I went along with some Ruby Amethyst control. There's a full video all about that event. If you haven't seen that already, I'd recommend checking that out, talking all about the event and going through my deck, including a accidental change that I made. I'm running an extra Teeth and Ambitions, even though I still don't know it at this point in the day. But nonetheless, this was the only game that I managed to get full footage for the entire match. In future events, I'm definitely going to look to capture gameplay for all of my rounds. But since I got this one, I thought it would be good to show. But yeah, me and my opponent, Falcone, are both at 2-0 at this point. It's 4 rounds of Swiss. And yeah, I'm playing Ruby Amethyst, there's my deck right there, and I am up against some Emerald Steel Bucky, which is the matchup that I am fearing the most, and was fearing the most going into this tournament. Overall, I really dislike playing against Discard, but I've done a lot of testing going into the event. A special shout out to, well, a few names really, Zach Bivens, Artabax, Lorcana Decklists, all for doing some testing sessions with me. And yeah, I did get a chance to play into the Bucky match a few times and get myself as prepared for it as I could possibly be. But yeah, we're going to jump in and take a look at the match. Again, it's only the POV of the board. Unfortunately, I don't have face cam or hands, but we'll commentate it the best we can nonetheless. But yeah, so into Bucky discard. My plan as the Ruby Amethyst player is to basically play nothing unless it draws me a card for playing it until I get to the turn 7 be prepared. Now, this is all under the assumption that my opponent is going to be playing multiple Buckies and then probably applying even more pressure with things like Pegasus and Robin Hood. And yeah, my hope really is to play things like Maleficent, Rabbit, Friends on the Other Side, just things to draw me cards so I can keep resources, keep inking, hopefully get to the turn 7, be prepared to reset the board, and then hopefully come out of that turn 7, be prepared all the better. Hopefully I will have better card draw to be able to replenish my resources and develop a bit of a board. So that's pretty much the game plan. My opponent is going first, and they're going to immediately ink the Floodborn Pegasus. Pop that face down, and they pass. They do miss their 1-drop, which is good to see, that I don't see a baby Pegasus or a Robin Hood being put down on the board. So that's a nice start, but still, it's not over yet. They could still Bucky, and then that's it. I'm going to ink a Queen's Castle. I can see a Maleficent there in my hand, a Be Prepared, and a Rabbit and a Brawl. But I'm going to pass over. No 1-drop, or if I do have one, I'm not playing it. My only 1-drops in this build are Shonebox followers. They're going to ink a Jafar Dreadnought and play Strike a Good Match, which you don't see commonly in these Steel Bucky decks these days, letting him draw 2 cards and discard 1, going to discard a Helga Sinclair, which you do sometimes see in these Bucky decks. It's another Floodborn to trigger his ability, but passes over to me without a turn 2 drop, which feels so good to not see a Bucky. I'm going to play ink a Goat and play down a Kuzco. Now, I wouldn't always necessarily play the Kuzco. If they had played a Bucky on that turn, there's a chance I'd have held it, just because Kuzco isn't always guaranteed draw. If there's nothing that I can challenge into, then it can be a problem. But because I'm running Teeth and Ambitions, I'm not sure I'm holding it at the moment, but if I am, then that's a good way of at least getting the draw off the Kuzco and hopefully taking out a Pegasus or a Robin Hood or something like that. But in this instance, no Bucky has come down, so I do throw down the Kuzco. They're going to play Strike a Good Match, discard themselves another Dreadnought. I miss what they ink, but they are going to get down a Pegasus and pass over to me. So a really slow start from the Bucky player, which is exactly what I want to see. So I'm going into my turn 3 now. I know there's a Maleficent in my hand. I'm going to ink the Queen's Castle. They could be good finishers, but at this point in the game, they could be okay, just because the Emerald Steel player doesn't tend to play a lot of characters with a lot of strength. Like, you have Jafar Dreadnought and Robin Hood. They can build a board to be able to take out the Queen's Castle, but I just want to, again, hold my resources, don't play anything unless it's drawing me a card, and I do throw down that Maleficent to draw. I'm most probably going to be questing here with the Kuzco, because Pegasus would take itself out for the challenge, and I would survive it, so that's pretty safe to me. And that's another good thing about getting out this Kuzco if you can, because sometimes, because you're not playing anything unless it draws, you don't do much questing, especially if they get the Dreadnought down, because that threatens to not only take out your small questers like Rabbits and Maleficents, but draw them additional resources. So the Kuzco sitting here being able to cheat me out a couple of lore is pretty good, and the guarantee that I'm going to draw a card even if it's banished, but I would still potentially think twice against a Dreadnought. But they're going to ink a Robin Hood. exert 5 and say exert 4, sorry, and they are going to throw down that Jafar Dreadnought. They're going to quest for 1 with the Pegasus. This was them getting a law council. They realized they didn't have one. So yeah, the Pegasus takes them up to 1, and yeah, now this Dreadnought is threatening my board if I want to be questing with things, and I'm giving him access to additional card draw. So we're going to my turn. It's my turn 4, so I'm assumedly going to be inking as soon as possible, unless I potentially play friends on the other side first. I do ink the Brawl, and down comes the Rabbit just to draw me a card again. Just sticking to the game plan. If it draws me a card, I play it, and making sure that I'm inking every turn so that I do have access to be prepared for when I need it, and even just turn 6 for the Medusas and the Tremaines. Worth noting, as I mentioned in my video the other day, I said I wanted to run 3 Medusa and only 1 Tremaine. Now, 1 Tremaine was sorry, I ended up having to run 2 Tremaine because I couldn't find the 3rd Medusa. And that extra Tremaine was useful in most of my matches. In this particular matchup, I would definitely prefer the Medusa so that I can guarantee getting rid of the Robin Hood or the Dreadnought or something like that. But nonetheless, I do opt to quest with the Maleficent. The thought trail really being like, okay, I'll give you a card, but that puts 2 damage on your Dreadnought, and then I can take it out with this Rabbit, which isn't always going to be the most high value turn, but because they've missed Bucky and I haven't had to discard anything, I drew off the Maleficent, I drew off the Rabbit. I'm feeling okay about just kind of pressuring the board and like force them into plays and like get that Dreadnought off the board really, so that I can re-establish things that can keep me questing. So it may not be the best of moves to have quested the Maleficent there, but I think it's okay. They're going to play the Ursa Deceiver to reveal my hand. I am holding that Teeth. Don't know if I had it from the beginning, but definitely would always be a good fit. Like if I'm holding the Teeth, and that definitely warrants putting down the Kuzco. They opt to get rid of the Teeth and Ambitions, which I think is a fine call from them. I am close to the be prepared, but they don't have a lot going on. It's not like they have a field of Buckies, so be prepared obviously isn't great for them, but it's also not awful. But getting rid of the Teeth is good. It means that I can't get rid of this Dreadnought so easily. Actually, I think that would have been my thought trail because of me questing with a Maleficent, was if I've got the Teeth in my hand, then okay, you do 2 damage, and then I can Teeth my Kuzco, or sing Teeth with Kuzco, put the damage on the Rabbit, and take out the Dreadnought. They're going to play that Diablo. They know that I've got the answer, and I think I remember him saying in this moment, well, I know I'm playing into Brawl, but I'm just going to do it anyway. So they pass over to me. I'm going to exert 3 ink. We do play that Brawl, get that Diablo out of here. That is the only exception of when you got, like I was saying, don't play anything unless it draws you a card. The exception is Brawl on Diablo. That is perfectly fine. I do take that trade of Rabbit into Dreadnought. It's going to get a little bit of pressure off the board and allow me to draw a card. I ink a Sisu. Most likely going to be questing with a Kuzco this turn, which I do. It will take challenges from both Pegasus and Ursa to take me out. And I do just opt to pass here. I'm not sure what I'm holding, but I'm going to be going into turn 6. I expect I've got Medusa and or Tremaine. And again, they don't have much of a board presence, so I'm just looking to like find my next opportunity to start drawing cards. They're going to shift their Pegasus and immediately sing Let the Storm Rage On with it to take up my Kuzco, which lets me draw a card. They're going to throw down Morph, which again, you don't always see in these Bucky decks, but pops up occasionally as a tech, just really diverse in what it can shift into, and questing with Ursula and then passing back over to me. So we're going into my turn 6. We ink the Goat. I've got a very healthy hand. Again, feels great that I haven't had to discard anything throughout this game. We do throw down the Madame Medusa, get rid of that Pegasus, and again, I'm now at a point where like that's quite a slow turn. I didn't do much, but they're not offering much pressure onto my board. Okay, they're questing for 1 with Ursula. I very much doubt they'll quest with Morph. They could throw down a Robin Hood or another Pegasus on top of the Morph. They actually opt to just play Robin Hood straight without shifting, quest with the Ursula, which is fine. Again, I don't know the hand, but I don't think they've got many cards. They haven't found many opportunities to draw, other than strike a good match, but that isn't card draw. You're switching cards really, because you discard a card and you played the strike and you drew 2 cards, so you keep the same card count. So they pass over to me after just dropping a Robin Hood. Probably feels a little safer for them after I've just thrown out Medusa, but it also might just be one of their only options. Thinking through my options a little bit here, from what I remember, I think I don't have the other Medusa. I think I have the Tremaine in my hand, or one of the 2. But I am running King Undisputed, so I could take out the Ursula and then sing that, but then that would just take out the Morph, which is okay, but not great. So just figuring out how I best want to play this. I'm going to start exerting some ink. We exert 4. We throw down a Rabbit, just going to draw another card. Again, this Robin Hood is going to quest for a bit, but there's not a lot of ball pressure overall being offered here. I'm going to ink the Kuzco, go into the Ursa, take a little bit of that pressure off, and again, I know that Medusa can survive a hit, but that doesn't even matter because I've got enough ink to immediately play the Fox, get the Medusa back in my hand so that I'm able to replay it on the following turn to take out the Robin Hood, which I think is a fine play. Tidying up my board state. So we pass over to them. So again, this Robin Hood can quest for 2. He knows that I have Medusa in my hand. I'm going to just pay 3 ink to play Let the Storm Rage on. For some reason, I started to exert my Fox, and then was like, what am I doing? But we put the 2 damage on the Fox. Obviously, not a great play from them, so definitely digging for some more options. I don't know if that's 1 or 2 cards in their hand. But yeah, he knows that I've got the Medusa, so this Robin Hood is going down regardless, so I think questing up. No, he's going to sing Grab Your Swords, which will take out my Fox. The last bit of damage, on, as well as that Storm Rage on, is enough to get the job done. Putting 2 damage on my Rabbit and passing over to me, and unfortunately cannot do anything else. So we have this exerted Robin Hood, which I'm almost positive I'm just going to be throwing down the Medusa here. I may have some card draw that I want to utilise first. Going to be paying 6 ink. Yep, straight down comes the Medusa. Get rid of the Robin Hood. Weighing up my options here. Again, I've got quite a healthy hand. I think that's 2 cards in my opponent's hand. Yeah, it looks like 2. Might be more. I'm just going to quest up with the Rabbit. And probably, yeah, and just pass it over. Maybe not the best decision to quest with the Rabbit there. Because, again, this Morph could threaten a shift to Robin Hood. Take out my Rabbit, gain 2 lore. But at the same time, that's not awful. Though I would do 2 damage in return to the Robin Hood, and then I could trade with the Medusa if I really wanted to. And again, I'm drawing off the Rabbit. Again, it's never. You should always be careful with your rabbits. Like, sometimes it's important to quest with them or sing with them, but at the same time, you want to be recycling them. So, again, I can't remember my exact hand here, but not always the right decision to have quested there. But in this instance, not punished for it at all. He's able to throw down an Ursa Deceiver of all. I sing Friends on the other side with the Rabbit. So again, that's another reason why it maybe wasn't worth the quest. Especially if I already had the Friends. To be fair, I probably drew it that turn. Otherwise, I expect I would have sang it with the Rabbit previous turn. But yeah, we draw 2 off the Friends. We're going to ink the Sisu. I'm going to quest with Medusa. Put that Medusa back in my hand, courtesy of the Snake, and then replay the Medusa to get rid of this Ursula, which just feels so incredibly good to do. I'm up to that ink count where I'm just going to be recycling these ladies. Again, I think I've only seen 1 Medusa this game, but I've got 3 uses out of it so far, which feels really good. And yeah, just because they haven't been able to get their Bucky engine going, their deck just doesn't do a whole lot, but we finally see the Squirrel, and I do remember an exchange between us of like, there it is, and I was like, I was wondering, like, is this some Bucky-less green steel? Because I'm about it. But yeah, play a Bucky, and they aren't able to do anything else. They pass it back over to me. I'm going to start exerting some ink. Down comes a Tremaine, which is going to get rid of that Morph. Again, I expected that would happen. Oh, I've got the Beaking Undisputed, so yeah, it's just a full ball clear. Half ball clear, should I say. I quest up with the Medusa and the Snake. Take myself up to 7. I've still got 2 ink to play with, should I desire, but I do not. I pass over, and they're just going to scoop it up at this point. I think that 3 cards in their hand. They are running a Grab Your Swords, at least 1 we saw, so I expect there's 2 or 3 left in the deck. Which would maybe take up 1 or 2 of my characters, but I think at this point it was just too far gone. So we immediately start shuffling up for game 2, and there's a little cut to the Mulligan stage. Obviously, they will be going first. Choose just to ink 1. And I do remember them saying, they threw just 1 back, and I was like, uh-oh. And it was like, yep, you might be seeing Bucky a little bit sooner this time, which is absolutely fair enough. Looking for things like Brawl or the card draw that I can possibly get. And we opt to throw back 4 cards. I think I saw a Flynn Rider there. I think the last card there was a Maui. But yeah, we go into game. Play the ink a Morph, which can be nice and diverse to shift into various things. Diablo, Pegasus, Robin Hood. And they do play down that Pegasus, so I know that I am potentially threatened by, well, you're always potentially threatened on turn 3 Floodborn after a Bucky due to Diablo, but this is another line for them as well as just the Diablo drop or the Aladdin drop, but they could also shift this Pegasus. But they pass to me, I ink, I'm going to play a Chernobog's Followers, they're going to ink and play down the Bucky. Now, I wouldn't always play this Chernobog's Followers, especially if they had opened with Diablo, then I wouldn't have played the Chernobog's Followers on my turn 1 because they could turn to Bucky and then they could shift Diablo and then they could sing Let the Storm Rage On and take up my Chernobog, so I would have been punished for that. But because it's Pegasus, I'm perfectly fine to do this because I can just draw a card this turn immediately. Take a while and R in this over, and yeah, I think this is a mistake I make here. I ink the Flynn Rider. I'm not sure what was going through my head, but I'm pretty sure I changed my mind of what line I wanted to take during this turn, because you're going to see in a minute, I'm going to play down another Chernobog's Followers, which I don't stand by. I don't think that was a great move. And I'm pretty sure now I also quest and take the draw with Chernobog, which is not a good play. Yeah, I even put up a note there. Like, if you're going to be drawing more, you should always do that drawing before you ink. I may have found something else that I wanted to ink. So that was definitely wrong of me. And me putting down the Chernobog's Followers isn't great. It's not awful, because it's punished by him now going Floodborn Pegasus and then sing Let the Storm Rage On, or even Grab Your Swords. Less value from the grid. Like, maybe I wouldn't have minded that, but just the Storm Rage On would punish this. So yeah, I definitely should have just quested, took my draw, and then inked, and then played nothing. So that wasn't a good turn for me, and I'm not really sure what I was thinking. So yeah, just as always, I'm always happy to point out my own misplays. Well, not happy about it, but I'll do it. Anyway, we've passed over to them. They're going to ink at Ursa Sea Rovol, and down comes a second Bucky, which is not what you want to see. They're going to quest with Pegasus. Because, yeah, as I said, if you're conservative with your cards and you're able to find Rabbits, Maleficents, Friends, one Bucky you can deal with. It still sucks discarding a card every turn, but you can deal with it. But the double Bucky is so lethal. I'm going to ink a Sisu, and I just pass here. I don't have a Maleficent or a Friends on the other side to play, which does not feel good. So yeah, just pass over to them. They're going to ready up. So they're about to make me discard 2 cards here. Wasn't punished for the Chernobog's Followers, I think. I don't think I was. I think I was talking about something else at that moment in time. No, they didn't play Storm or anything like that. Yeah, so I just quested and drew again. But yeah, they are going to ink and throw down the Aladdin, which is going to make me discard 2 cards due to this Bucky. So this is already a losing position, to be honest. Especially with no way to get around these Buckies for a couple of turns. So I mull this over for a while. I'm going to throw away a Be King Undisputed and a Brawl. I don't feel great about giving out the Brawl because it's my Diablo answer. But at this point, the 2 Buckies are... That's too much to deal with. That's the more pressing threat. But yeah, they quest up with their Pegasus, pass over to me. I think I'm holding 5 or is it 5 cards? Because I've been able to draw off the Chernobog's Followers. We're going to ink the Sisu. And do I have a Rabbit here to play? I cannot remember. Nope, we just pass. I don't have anything. So, yeah, just pass over to them. So, not a great position from me. But, yeah, I'm holding, I think, 5 cards there. 1, 2, 3. It's 4 or 5 that I'm holding there. But again, I'm got to assume that I'm about to discard 2, so this doesn't feel great. They ink and a Beast Tragic Hero, throw down the 3rd Bucky, and then they exert 3 to shift the Pegasus, which is going to make me discard 3 cards. And at this point, I'm like, this is where quite a lot of the time you would just mentally give up. And fair enough, because yeah, this is a really losing position. Like, I can maybe get to a point where I'm just going draw ink, and then I draw Be Prepared at the exact right turn, but we've got another 3 turns to get to that point, and they're going to have quested to like maybe 10 by that point, so it is hard. Not impossible. You can hit that Be Prepared after getting to 7, and then just get really lucky, draw Friends into Rabbit, and then a Snake into another Rabbit, and then like you can reflood, and it can be done, but it doesn't feel great. But yeah, we throw away 3 cards. I think I threw 3 anyway. There was definitely a point in one of these games where I didn't throw away enough, just because I forgot there was an extra Bucky on the board. Yeah, I actually think I'm still discarding here. I think I threw 2 cards and then was like, yeah, and the Queen's card. Yeah, that was that moment. I discarded the 2 and he was like, sorry, 3rd one. I was like, oh god, yes, my bad. Okay, have my castle. They're going to quest up with a couple of Buckies, which I think makes sense at this point in the game. At least 1, and then quest up with everything else. I'm going to ink the Madam Mim Snake, get myself to 5. I throw down a Maui. I've got 1 card. Yeah, because if I hold the Maui, I'm just discarding it all next turn anyway, as long as I've got a Floodborn. So I suppose this way, at least I get rid of a Bucky. And then if the Maui survives, maybe I draw a Friends next turn and I can sing with the Maui and then go Rabbit into Snake. That'd be nice. But yeah, it's not a great play. We do take out one of the Buckies, pass over to our opponent, who's going to throw down the Helga, and I'm just scooping right now. I've got the Be Prepared in my hand. I could have taken my turn. I could have potentially found a friend into a rabbit and etc, etc. But yeah, I think it was just game from that point. So we move into game 3, and I get to go first. They end up throwing back all 7 cards, which I love to hear. Because obviously it means they don't have the Bucky, so they're power digging for it. But of course, they've already seen 7, and they're now going another 7 cards into the deck. So the odds of them hitting the Bucky are pretty good. But it always feels nice if they do throw all the 7, because there is at least that chance that they won't open with it. I throw back 4, I believe. Yep, that's 4. We shuffle back in. And we get going for game 3, because at this point, like I said, it is 2-all. We are both 2-0, should I say, in the tournament. So a win here pretty much secures top 4 to get that Ursula, which I was very, 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 very keen for. So a lot at stake here, but I'm on the play. Let's see how we do. So we take our first 7 cards. And yeah, I'm definitely looking for probably a Chernobog's followers potential. You don't need the Chernobog, but if I've got one, I definitely will be looking to play it just to help me thin my deck a little bit more, get closer to those key cards that I know I'm going to need, like the bee preps and like finding Medusas and things like that, and rabbits and friends, and yeah, just thinning the deck. Although, again, like I said, I think I'm running 60 cards. I'm actually running 61. I see a bee prep in my hand there. I ink a Madam Mim Snake. Doesn't feel great to have the bee prep that early, especially because I know they're running Ursa Deceiver. But yeah, I just ink the Snake, pass over to them. They ink a Pegasus and pass back over to me. So no Robin Hood. I don't know if there's any 1-drop Robin Hoods. I don't know if we actually saw any. I know there's the Floodborn, but we know there could be Baby Pegasus, but not this time. They pass back over to moi. But I am still obviously expecting the Bucky to go down for them next turn, which is the more pressing issue. I haven't seen a 1-drop Diablo from them either. Again, I don't know if I just didn't see it, or if they're not playing it. I do like the 1-drop Diablo in Bucky. Well, if I'm playing Bucky, then I'm playing it. I don't like it if I'm playing against it, but yeah, the fact that they don't have it is fine by me. I'm going to ink a Brawl. I'm pretty sure it's because I have 2. I do have to play the Kuzco here. Now, if I've got the Teeth, this is absolutely fine. Obviously, the Teeth can't hit the Bucky, but it can hit the Pegasus, or the Diablo. So there's a few things for it. So yeah, if I'm holding the Teeth, then this is absolutely fine to play the Kuzco. If I'm not holding the Teeth, then there's an argument to not playing the Kuzco, because again, I can get checked. I actually ink the Teeth. And I've wrote down Maleficent instead to draw a card. But yeah, there's an argument to not throwing down the Kuzco just because I'm not guaranteed to be able to get it to pop off if they don't exert anything. And then I'm denying myself card draw, and I've lost a potential card in my hand that I could discard. At the same time, it checks the Bucky, but I don't need to do that because I've thrown down the Maleficent, but also just helps me get some early questing out because they're not going to be challenging with Bucky. They won't challenge with 1-drop Pegasus, they might with a 3-drop. So yeah, there's arguments for and against the Kuzco drop there. If I pass over to them, they're going to throw down another Bucky, which feels horrible, but because they missed their 1-drop, this opens me up to be able to... I sing a Friends on the other side, which feels great. But yeah, because they do not have a 1-drop, it does open me up to do what I know my move is here. I'm going to be inking up to 4 eventually. And we're going to throw down the Bee King Undisputed, which obviously gets around Ward, making them choose one of their characters to be banished. So that takes a little bit of the pressure off, getting rid of one Bucky. I'm going to quest up with Kuzco and Maleficent. So yeah, again, I'm already at 4. Like, they can make me discard now, which, okay, fine. I draw off Maleficent, and I've drawn 2 off friends on the other side, so like that's pretty good by my standards. And again, I know I'm holding the B prep, and I'm only a couple of turns away from being able to play it. So yeah, being able to just get one of those Buckies off of their board like changes things drastically for me. If I wasn't able to do that, then that would have changed things. I do throw away the Be Prepared here. I don't think I'm holding another one. I think it's just because, again, I know they're running Ursa Deceiver, and that could come down on turn 5 or 6 before I'm able to get to B prep, and then I just lose it for nothing. So I do just throw it away, and I'm pretty sure I'm holding enough cards in my hand that I feel confident of being able to keep control of the board. I'm able to find another friends on the other side to sing with Maleficent, which feels fantastic. So I've got a nice healthy hand here. Throw down a rabbit, exerting forward to draw another card, and I think that was another B prep I just found there. We'll probably be questing with this Kuzco. I imagine I might hold it because of the Aladdin, although the Aladdin will be taking out the Maleficent more than likely anyway. We ink a Kuzco, take myself up to 5 ink. Yeah, I do quest with this Kuzco. I and an about it, but yeah, I think it's fine. Whichever if the Aladdin goes into Maleficent or my Kuzco, I can then finish it off with the other one if I want to. So that's fine. Or I can just keep questing and make them do the challenging into me and finish himself off. So we're gonna pass over. Drawing a card. I think, yeah, that was just a question about the ink here. He thought that was my first time questing with Kuzco, I believe. But yeah, we established, no, I've been questing with him ever since he's been here. And sometimes that early lore can be really important, which is an argument for throwing down the Kuzco into a Bucky matchup. But again, there's definitely an argument to not doing it. It's good to do if you've got the teeth, but I immediately inked what I thought was my one and only teeth. But yeah, they're going to ink 2/5, and they're going to throw down the Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood. So I'm just discarding 1 card off of this, which is fine. Again, I'd rather not, but we can absolutely deal with that. And I'm about to be going into turn 6, and if I'm holding Medusa in my hand, then that feels great, because I know I'll be able to pop this Robin Hood immediately. We get rid of Maui, which obviously can be good in this matchup to take out the Robin Hood in one shot, but not by no means one of your more important pieces in this matchup. And I've got another 3 in the deck anyway. They opt to pass. They were definitely considering there if they wanted to do any challenging there, and I do think there's something to be said for them either questing with the Aladdin or challenging, but clearly they've got their own thought trail. Little cut there, which nothing happened, but we tidied the board state up a little bit. But yeah, down comes the Merlin Goat as ink to get me to 6. And because I think I would have played Medusa already if I had it. I think that would have been my immediate throwdown. So I opt instead to play the Queen's Castle. Yeah, if memory serves, I'm not holding a lot here. I think I even made a point of saying I don't have the Medusa. Because I think when he went into my turn, he was like, Medusa? And I was like, I do not have it. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm holding here. So I have to go for the castle line. And I know I can move a couple of characters into the castle. Now, there is enough strength on his side of the field to take out this castle, but it would involve him challenging with Bucky. So if they want to do that, if they want to send all of their characters into my castle, so that I can then get rid of this Bucky, and then I wouldn't double into the Aladdin. I would probably just quest with Maleficent and Rabbit. But again, by that point, maybe I do have the Medusa, or the Tremaine has just like a good hit to help me balance the board. Again, I can't remember exactly what I'm holding, but I knew that they could take out this castle, but I was alright with it if they want to exert their Bucky. So we move 2 characters to the castle. So I'm going to be singing a Storm Rage on with the lad in there, just putting the 2 damage on the rabbit. And then playing the Grab Your Sword, so that makes sense. Singing Grab Your Sword with Robin Hood, so that's now going to take out the Rabbit, the Maleficent, and the Kuzco. But I am going to draw 2 cards off of that. But that means that this castle is not going anywhere, and I'm going into my turn 7. So if I am holding the B prep, which I think I am, then this is great, unless they're about to play Ursa Deceiver. That would really put a wrench in my plans. And yeah, I do think I just spotted the Be Prepared in my hand. Because I do think that is what I ended up playing, and I think that they obviously know I'm going into my B prep turns. They're considering whether or not they want to extend here. We see the Diablo come down, so yeah, no Ursa Deceiver from them. Otherwise, I almost certainly would have we would have seen it that turn. But the Diablo is going to trigger a discard because of the Flynn Rider. There goes my Flynn. Because of the Bucky. Words are so hard. But yeah, I discard my Flynn Rider. You can see it. That's signed by Tim, the game designer. He lent me these Flynn Riders and he signed them for me. And in tribute to me, he wrote the ha at the top, which I think works really well with the artwork of that particular card. But yeah, passing over to me. So yeah, the Diablo gets a discard from me, but if they didn't have the Ursula, I'm not sure it was really worth it, because this is going to be a really heavy Be Prepared. I do ink the Flynn Rider and pay that 7. Of course, I gained 2 lore from the castle as I started my turn, which took me up to 5. And yeah, being able to play B prep here, which just wipes everything. I think they're holding 2, maybe 3 cards. And I've got castle here, which is going to sit here for at least a couple of turns. They might be running Zeus. That is a possibility. I haven't seen one yet. But there's only 1 damage on this castle because they challenged it with Bucky. So yeah, there's 1 damage on this, so Zeus would not be enough. So I know this is sticking there for at least another turn. They play a Robin Hood and pass back over to me, so I'm going to go up to 7 lore from that castle. This was definitely a point where he said to me, Medusa, and I was like, I've missed it, unfortunately. And I think I remember him saying, oh, I would literally scoop right here if you had Medusa. But I do not have it, so I'm able to play out Maui, and I have to play Flynn as well. I ink a Sisu, so I've also got enough ink to move Maui to the castle. We do that because obviously I'm well aware that they're playing stuff like Storm Rage on. That could take out my Flynn Rider, which would be something they would want to do just to stop me getting the lore gain, because obviously this Maui has 6 strength, which is the strongest thing. And they do have that Storm Rage on to get rid of Flynn, so they are able to take that bit of pressure off the board. But I've still got a Maui on board who is at the castle. They play an Ursa Deceiver, and I'm holding another Maui in my hand. They definitely could have done with that a turn before. So they ink the Pegasus. And I think they're just going to pass over to me here. Maybe they quest with the Robin Hood. They do not. They don't want to just give it up for nothing. So they pass over to me. So I go up to 9 lore because of the castle. Draw 1 for turn and then another 1 for the Maui. So I know I'm holding a Maui in hand. Not sure what I've just drawn into. But still, there is not enough damage on this board to take out my Queen's Castle. Me forgetting to re-ready. And then I start exerting. I pay 1 for the Chernobog's followers, pay 1 to move him to the Queen's Castle, and then just pass. I'm holding 1 mystery card and a Maui in my hand. Yeah, obviously Maui cannot quest, doesn't have any lore anyway, but has that reckless keyword. So Robin Hood is going to sing Let the Storm Rage On to get rid of that Chernobog's followers, letting them draw a card. They're going to pay 5 to throw down the Beast Tragic Hero. But still, this castle is just going to sit there, and they pass over to me again, and I go up to 11 lore. This castle just running away with the game. I draw a card for turn, and I draw a card for Maui being at the Queen's Castle, having a little disco, so he is. Checking my ink. And down comes the Be Prepared, because I just think you've got 1 card in your hand. You have no way of answering this castle. This is absolutely the play. So I just play the Be Prepared. I ink to throw down a Chernobog's followers. I don't have enough ink to also move it to the castle. But yeah, like that is already so much pressure. I tidy up my board state, pass over to them. They're going to throw down a Pegasus, which again is just going to sit there, pass over to us. We got up to 13 lore. This Queen's Castle just absolutely running away with the game. Just being able to play it at the right point has just absolutely done most of the lore game for this round. So you'll love to see it. I play a Be King Undisputed to get rid of that Pegasus. Pretty sure we'll be questing with the Chernobog's followers up to 14. Probably move it into the Queen's Castle. Not sure if I'm holding anything else in my hand to actually play. Yeah, again, me sometimes being really bad at re-readying things. But yeah, we pay another ink to move the Chernobog's followers to the castle and pass over to our opponent. They're going to play everything to play the Tinkerbell, which is going to get rid of Chernobog's followers with only 1 willpower. But this castle is still sitting there generating lore. Got me up to 16 now. And I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm at 8 ink. So another Be King Undisputed. I just think I eyed the Tremaine in my hand as well. pretty sure. I think there's a be prepared in there. I know there's a brawl. Check my ink. I definitely don't have Tremaine then, otherwise I definitely would have played it there. So we play the Maui instead, just move it to the castle. The Tinkerbell will be able to do 4 damage to this castle, but that still isn't going to be enough. But then they'll be able to take it out on the following turn, so maybe they can save themselves. But of course, at this point in the game, they've got to be worried about just a Goat Bounce, holding 2 cards, I believe. Yep, they are going to challenge into that Queen's Castle, throw down Aladdin, and pass over to me. So I got up to 18 from that castle. And I think they said to me here, Goat Bounce, and I was like, I don't think so. I'll draw my card. But I do not believe... I'll draw 2 cards, should I say, off of the... It's always been Maui having a party at the Queen's Castle, just drawing me extra cards. You love to see it. But yeah, not sure what I'm holding in my hand here. Yeah, we're going to challenge into the Tinkerbell. And then do I have a way of removing this Aladdin? Because, of course, the Aladdin can get rid of my castle on the following turn. And Maui offering no questing pressure. And we have the Madame Medusa at last. Get rid of that Aladdin. Move the Medusa to the castle and pass. And at this point, again, I don't know if they're holding playing a long game Zeus, but it should be game. And they draw. They reveal they had a Grab Your Swords and a Pegasus. And that is a GG. So, yeah, it was really, really tense. Game 1, I obviously got very lucky that they completely missed Bucky. So I was able to just absolutely overwhelm. Game 2, I got very unlucky that they hit the triple Bucky, so I think that balances out. And then that game there, just them missing that 1-drop, so that I was able to be King Undisputed, one of the 2 Buckies after turn 3 was so huge. Being on the play was huge. But yeah, we were able to take it, and you see Queen's Castle just absolutely running away with Lord. But yeah, a massive GG's to my opponent, Falcone. Their Twitter will be linked down below. Go and show them support. But yeah, this is my only game I was able to get the full match for this particular tournament. But like I say, for future events, I'm definitely going to look to get more gameplay, because I know you guys love this sort of content. So if you have enjoyed this video, do please hit the like button for me. But yeah, that's basically going to be it. Just a little note, as I mentioned in my previous video, I have been given the honor of being one of the casters for the DLC in Germany. If you're going to be there, let me know. Comment down below. I'll be happy to, if anyone wants anything signed, if anyone wants a photo or just a chat, do please feel free to come up to me. If I am ever actually too busy, I will say something on the lines of, I'm so sorry, I need to go do this thing, but I will meet you in 10 minutes, an hour, or at this time. I will absolutely make the time to come and talk to anyone that fancies a chat. If you do want something signed, I will be bringing along my Villain Club cases, probably to a max of probably 50. Anyone that wants something signed, I will give you 1 Villain Club case to keep that card in. But yeah, let me know if I'll be seeing you in Germany. But other than that, that's it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe for all things Lorcana. Hit that like button to show support, and we'll see you soon.